It is an amazing day to just show up. Hi, everyone. Yvonne Heath here, nurse turned author, speaker, and changemaker, and your host. Welcome to Navigating Grief with Heart and Humor, where we talk about, plan, and prepare for grief, transitions, end of life, and all the messiness in between, long before it arrives, and diffuse the fear so we can live fully now. Most of the time, we have been in the deep trenches of grief. We have faced the death of loved ones, crushing disappointment, and we realized how ill prepared we were. We did not have coping skills, strategies. We were attached to the outcome that did not happen. And so we want to do it differently next time, starting today. And so that is what my journey is all about: learning, unlearning, evolving, doing it differently next time, not doing it any better, and learning, constantly learning, and forgiving myself and accepting my flawed, imperfect, wonderful being, because that is truly the very best that we can do. And so I honor you for joining me today. We're going to have some fun because I bring my message with heart and humor because it's already serious enough. And to me, when we allow grief and joy to coexist, we can get through those most challenging times of our lives and realize that there were some glimpses of light, there were lessons, and we created an even better life on the other side. When we are in it, we don't even feel that is possible. But I can promise you, from my own life experience and from all the incredible humans that I have connected with and whose stories and wisdom I have shared, it is all possible. So I want to share a fun fact with you, and then we will carry on with our conversation for today. So, fun fact. Well, let me tell you, as we speak, we have record snow here in Muskoka, Ontario, in our wonderful country of Canada. Never have we seen so much snow. That is not the fun fact, but it reminded me of this beautiful Afghan that my mother knit for me as a part of something she wanted to create for all of her children, and just to have something to always remember her, and many other things, of course. But I really, really love this Afghan, and let me tell you, I've been using it a lot lately. And the fun fact is that she also knit a scarf for Jasper, the elephant, because Jasper's a very important part of our journey. He travels with us everywhere we go. When I'm sharing my message, whether it's with Love Your Life to Death, the I Just Showed Up movement, whatever it may be. So Jasper has his scarf and he's all bundled up. And yeah, we'll talk more about the snow as we get into our conversation. But before we begin that, I just want to take a moment, as I always do, to land here, to just create that peace, quiet the noise in my head, quiet the noise out there, and fully land here so that I can be present with you. That is my ritual. I invite you to do the same, create your own ritual, or join me. I take 2 slow, deep breaths, inhaling. And when I do, I'm very intentional about inhaling positive energy and exhaling everything that no longer serves me. And I ask my intention, I set an intention. My intention today is to share something your heart needs to hear, knowing that I learn with everything that I share as it lands differently depending on what is going on in my life. And so I'm going to do that now. But like I said, I invite you to join me, and I'm going to close my eyes, and you can do the same if you're comfortable. Don't do it if you're driving. So let me begin. And inhale positive energy. And I exhale everything that no longer serves me. And I ground myself. I do this often, many times in the day, depending on the chaos in my head, and it truly does help. So, speaking of chaos, speaking of snow and life's glitches, it's funny because my whole greatest passion is being proactive, talking about planning and preparing for grief, transitions, end of life, and I'm gonna put my Afghan down because more. And knowing that the more we understand grief, the more we accept that everything is temporary and that change is the only constant and that life is unpredictable. When these things happen, we will be able to navigate it with greater ease. It doesn't mean it will be easy. There's a difference. When we have an attachment to the outcome or how the process is going to unfold, we create excessive suffering. So in talking about planning and preparing, it doesn't mean that everything that you prepare and you've written down and you crossed your T's and you dotted your I's, that everything will go according to plan exactly as it was described, the instructions you left, whatever it may be. However, that is the best we can do, is plan and prepare and normalize challenging conversations, and also plan for the potholes. Plan for the potholes, the U-turns, the changes, and know that, the best laid plans. We can plan. And there will be at times glitches. There will be unexpected events. Sometimes they're great, wonderful surprises. Other times, not so much. So as I mentioned, I talked about the Afghan and the scarf. We in Canada, in Ontario, as we speak, have had a record snowfall in the shortest amount of time. So I am sharing this in 2022, and I heard on the radio that the last recorded snowfall that was this heavy in this short amount of time was 1985. 1985. And in this past week, we have had 2.5 feet of snow more than that time. There are thousands and thousands of people snowed in that cannot get out of their homes. There are roofs that are collapsing. There are, in some areas, the waves from the lake have become so high and just crashing in onto people's houses and homes that there are pictures of homes that have like 6 inches of ice. They look like frozen tundra. This has never happened before. Did not see this coming because we live where there's snow, there's storms, and you're always hearing, oh, there's a great storm coming, etc. And that is normal. We've normalized that. We had no idea this would be what it is. And so, in this talking about planning and preparing, this was a holiday time. Our son was coming home from out west. He lives in Alberta now, another province, a couple of provinces away. He hadn't been home since 2019. We planned, we prepared, we had meals, we had beds, we were visiting so many people. It was all planned out. When he was going to be flying in his plane, that's when it all started. And this was before the holidays. Delayed, canceled. delayed. Oh, you get on this flight. Got on a flight. Fantastic. My goodness, he made it. We were able to drive 2 hours to the airport before another storm came in and picked him up. No luggage. Okay. Okay. The best laid plans, right? Came home. All right. Well, here you can borrow your dad's clothes, your brother's clothes, and we'll continue on. And wow, thank goodness we missed part of that storm. And then it started to snow and snow and snow and did not stop. And the visibility was zero. So our best laid plans that we talked about, planned and prepared, visiting people, relatives hadn't seen in so long, were all put on hold. What did we spend our time doing? Snow blowing, shoveling 4 feet of snow. 4 feet of snow off of our roof, so our roof didn't collapse. Snow blowing the driveway of a woman who is in her 70s who lives by herself. Hours and hours and hours. Now, it's going to make for quite a story. Remember that storm when, all the flights were delayed? There were pictures of suitcases at the airports in Toronto, Ontario, this huge international airport where there were suitcases just all thrown off of the, what do you call the belt where all the luggage comes off. It was all just thrown, hundreds and hundreds of bags just thrown onto the floor because they were so backlogged. And so you pause, right? And there were potholes, there were curveballs, there were U-turns, and it's always a yes and, right? In the midst of all of this turmoil and grief for so many people. And as a side note, there were also many other issues that people were facing, very sad stories. Just because we're in the middle of this tremendous storm doesn't mean other things in life won't happen. The potholes are in the road, whether we see them or not. And so to allow our disappointment, right? To allow our disappointment to know that we planned as well as we could. We planned, we prepared, and then the letting go of the outcome and the journey and crossing our fingers, hoping there will be no glitches. With every glitch, I have truly learned to roll with it. And yes, of course, at first it's like, oh, you can't be serious. These flights are canceled. Oh my goodness, this child does not have his luggage. Wow, we can't get out our front door. We can't visit people. Really, instead of having fun that we planned, we're going to be shoveling and snow blowing for hours and hours and hours. Acknowledge all that disappointment. Have a little pity party, boo-hoo. I do not compare it to people who have it worse off. I keep it in perspective. And then I just immediately get to the gratitude. Gratitude. Oh my goodness. First of all, I'm very grateful that we planned everything out. I am grateful that our son Tyler made it home for the first time in many, many years. I am beyond grateful that we have a snowblower that works, because otherwise we wouldn't even be able to get rid of this snow, to move this snow. I am grateful that we have these big, strong kids that are helping, and we're all doing this together. I am grateful that everyone is safe and warm. Again, many people with no hydro and no heat in the winter is devastating. And so I will open my doors. My doors are open to anyone who is struggling. I am grateful that my relatives all around are all safe, and we did manage to get out and see a couple of people here and there, not the same visits. And so as we talk about, plan, and prepare, as we make sure that we've We've done everything we can to plan, whatever it may be, school, assignments, a celebration, a wedding, a funeral, a vacation, whatever it may be. If we can accept and allow room for the glitches, allow room for the unpredictability. Did not see that coming. If we can do that, we can find the humor in things. We can let go of the attachment and perfection. As I'm even sharing this, I am thinking about when Jordy and I were planning our wedding. ADHD, attention to detail brain. I have the greatest attention to detail. I had a binder, things to do, people to connect with, things to buy, the timing. It was all on the calendar. I had everything planned, let me tell you. Well, again, the best laid plans. I just thought there couldn't possibly be a single glitch. And so everything was amazing. And a few things, happened along the way as we were leaving the church and we went to go get pictures. It was so chaotic. The flower girl and their parents got lost and she didn't make it to the photo shoot. And we were just so busy that we didn't even realize that. Well, isn't that feel awful at that moment? Later on, the dinner, everything went great. We planned, we prepared, everything was wonderful. And when it came time to throw the garter, which, I thought was just so fun, we had the music and we had fun, and I had a cowboy hat on because Jordy thinks he's a cowboy. He's not really. And then I just realized I didn't have a garter on. Wait, DJ, stop the music. Hang on, keep dancing, everyone. Had our friend Vince run to the house and find this funny, silly garter that somebody had given us as a gag gift. And he came back because we just happened to be close enough, and I threw it on and we continued. So again, I share that because those are the stories, right? That he looked back, and if you can say, oh my goodness, I mean, if I didn't find it, I would have just attached, I don't know, a napkin, something, just move forward with it. There will be potholes, even when you are proactive. And I applaud you for becoming more and more proactive and normalizing conversations and anticipating the transitions in life, and knowing and understanding and accepting that grief and joy will be a part of every one of those transitions and changes. There's grief and joy in good changes, and we understand this. And the way to get through is to acknowledge and allow our hard feelings and our good feelings and our great feelings, all of it. And to understand that grief isn't something that there's this set point, this date that you're just done grieving. Something you weave into your fabric, into your being, into your life. And every now and again, it feels more acute. And every now and again, you will navigate the very same trigger, as we say. If you have a trigger and you work on these triggers and say, let's talk about this, let's acknowledge this, and they will become less and less and may even disappear. And oh, you thought that was never going to happen again, then boom, there's another little pothole. Didn't see that one. That is life. And we are here. We believe we are just these spiritual beings on this having this human experience. We are here to experience it all. We are here to experience joy, grief, happiness, sorrow, all of the emotions. We all know when we have been in the deep trenches of grief and sorrow, and it loosens its grips and it lessens, and you feel joy again. That joy is just so profound, right? It is so profound when you have felt that sorrow. When we move through it all again on this journey we call life, and we know that very smooth road, yes, how wonderful. Let's talk about what we're going to do. Let's be well prepared and know that could be a crack, a pothole, a detour. All of these things, I am as planned and prepared as I can be. And that is also a part of this human experience. So as I prepare to go outside and do a little more shoveling, because it still hasn't stopped snowing, I say with a smile, I am going to acknowledge and allow all my feelings. I am going to create joy in this. We did create, and we will continue to create. We had our son Tanner, who was shoveling the roof. We had him jump off the roof and jump into the snow pile that he created. That the snow pile was probably 10 feet high. And we did it in slow motion, and this 6'4" man child disappeared into this pile of snow, because we're going to enjoy, make fun of the glitches, make fun with the glitches, because that is the very best we can do, right? We always have a choice. We don't always have the choice we wish we had, but we can choose to let go of attachment. We can choose to embrace the potholes and the cracks in the road and the U-turns and the detours. Perhaps sometimes we can choose a different path. We always have a choice. And I invite you to always choose the yes and, allowing your grief, frustration, all of that, and your joy, and being very intentional about creating fun and silliness within the potholes, and always carry love and gratitude with you, no matter what. So thank you again for joining me on this journey. It means so much to me, your love, your support. And as we navigate this together, we can learn and evolve and know that we are perfectly imperfect. We will get frustrated by those potholes, right? And then we'll get out of it and keep on keeping on. And along the way, please connect with us anytime. Love your life to death. The I Just Showed Up movement. I always carry have my bracelet, my I Just Showed Up bracelet, knowing that I need to just show up for myself first and just show up for others. And I am so, so grateful to those who choose to just show up for me. So join our movement. And if you want to be able to navigate life's potholes and glitches and make the very greatest gift of yourself, which is being the very best version of yourself, and accepting and acknowledging those potholes and being okay with being messy. Start with being proactive by planning your life, plan your death, and then just love your life to death. And always bring your own tambourine to the party. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next episode, and let's keep on keeping on. Going outside to shovel. Bye for now.